Hi, I'm Remy Curdy, the Curriculum Development Specialist for Konica Minolta. In today's webinar, we will be discussing the Fiery version 5 Freeform. We will be taking a look at how to use the Fiery tools to do variable data printing. With us today is Bill Montez, the franchise consultant for MBE. With us also is Todd Flowers, the Regional Corporate Accounts Manager for Konica Minolta. I'm going to hand over the microphone to Bill.
Thanks, Remy. Again, I just appreciate Todd and Remy for hosting this call. Just a few things from an administrative standpoint. This webinar will be recorded and will be placed on the BizHub Learning Center. Todd's going to take us through the BizHub Learning Center at the end just to kind of make sure that everybody's aware of where you can find these recordings. Part 1 and Part 2 that we've done in this series have already been posted to the BizHub Learning Center. You can view them today as needed. From a strategic standpoint, in 2011, we really want to make sure you, the franchisee, start thinking like a print company. To help with this change, we will assess each center to get a good level set of where we are now in terms of the skill level and equipment from each center to center. From that, we will customize a training course to enable each individual franchisee to deliver a solid product based on the unique requirements of their customers. For new franchisees, we're going to address printing at the early stages in the franchise sales cycle, starting from when we talk to the prospective franchisees that we are in the print business. Every new franchisee is going to be exposed to a higher level of print service training, and part of that training will be getting associates to be more like a sales associate. The Graphic Communications Institute, Cal Poly State University developed a print training for MBE for this year. The plan is for the area support and franchise consultants to first attend a train-the-trainer session at this Cal Poly to learn how to deliver the training. The training will then be customized for each center based on the initial assessments that we give out there to the field. Also, the curriculum is hands-on intensive and will cover various print scenarios and exercises. This will help the franchisees respond to all print requests that come in on a daily basis. The training has already started out there in Cal Poly, and it's going to be going throughout 2011. After 2011, the training will be implemented in San Diego at the university there, and owners will have the opportunity, if they desire, to sign up for those classes as well in the future. We are rethinking all facets of printing within our franchise. We're examining the layout and marketing materials of our centers to get customers to think of us as a printer. We have to look and act like a print shop. We've changed our corporate structure to support digital printing. We've asked our vendors to be more involved in the training of their equipment in your centers. And finally, we're really looking for new associates when we're asking you to consider folks with the aptitude for graphics design in addition to your current hiring qualifications. Unofficially in the region, for 2010, as a region, we were up 2.6% in document services. And our plan is double-digit growth in 2011. So I know it's a hefty goal, but I know we're going to get there as a group. So with that said, I'm going to hand it back over to Todd, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Bill. We're going to go through today that will hopefully help you get to that double-digit growth that Bill was talking about. And one of these tools using the Fiery, it's called Freeform. And today we're going to cover what Freeform is, how to create a master, how to print the master file, and also what types of jobs may be too complex for using Freeform, and then what software is available to take it to the next step, which is not necessary. It's just understanding the limitations of Freeform and where you can actually take variable data printing to help create revenue, capture clients. That's what this whole webinar series is about. Is at the end of the day, I hope you understand that we're trying to teach you these tools so you can generate more revenue and get more clients. So, Freeform variable data. What does all that mean? Well, basically, if you've ever tried to do a mail merge before, you will notice that your screen starts to flicker, the copier or the print device slows down greatly in its speed. Copiers generally will go down to only 25% of their rated speed. It's because when you do a traditional mail merge, which we have a webinar for that on the BizHub Learning Center, which I'll show you later if you've never done a mail merge. But when you do that, it sends the jobs over individually. So it's cumbersome and doesn't do a very good job, especially in large, if you're doing 10 or 12 records, no big deal. You start going over to 150, 200 records, it makes a big difference. So what I've done, I'm actually using some of the parts and pieces from the Fiery Freeform Toolkit from EFI, which I will show you where to go get these files in Excel databases so you can understand how to do Fiery Freeform properly. But this example here I have on screen, this is the heavy-duty graphic here. And it's an example of 2 postcards for a golf cart event, a golf outing event. So in this area here where you see the blank area here next to the address here is where we would mail this out to. And again, this is an example of a 2-up postcard. So again, thinking 2-up to increase your margins. This one happens to be on an 8.5 by 11 sheet, but you would perform a cut here and then have 2 business cards, or 2 postcards rather, to mail out. So I'm going to assume in this webinar that you know how to do a mail merge. I'm going to assume that you've taken the webinar on Command Workstation 5 to understand what we're going to be looking at, but I will show it to you. It's very easy. But once, this is the master file here. So this is the file that you will create a master from digitally in the Command Workstation. Simply when you do that, you say File, Print, and you have to use the PostScript driver of the Fiery device, whether it be a Konica Minolta, an Icon, a Xerox, or whatever you have. But the PostScript driver, the PCL driver, a different flavor of the Fiery driver, will not do this because it does not have the variable data print button to create the master or print to that master. Waiting for the driver to pop up. Here it is. So there is the variable data printing button. What you do is you click there, and you would create the master, which I've already done previously. When you create that master, what it does is it stores it inside your Command Workstation or your Fiery, as you see here. That's where the master is residing. So when you print your variable data to the master, it's just going to lay down little bits of data, address information, the person's name, so it doesn't take so long. So your rated speed of your output goes from 25% up to about 78% of the rated speed of the copier. So once you've created the master, you will then see it here and be able to choose from it. Obviously, we haven't created a lot of these here in the demo room where I'm at in Charlotte, North Carolina, but create the master. And a nice new function of the PS driver with the Fiery to do the variable data printing or using Freeform is you can then preview the master by clicking preview and seeing which one, to make sure you're printing to the right one. So then after you performed a mail merge, you would then pull up the file. So typically you make a blank file more or less, same page size as the master file because the postcard will fit in here. If you look here, since I've already performed the mail merge, linked the data to the form, you can scroll through and see the name changes here very easily. So it's very simple. Once you've created the mail merge and got the master loaded into your Fiery, you simply print to the master. File, Print. Again, go to the PS version of your Fiery driver. Always make sure you uncheck the collate button here in any print job. The collate button causes some anomalies and is never a good thing because basically with the Konica Minolta units, you fight over who's boss. So just tell your driver to collate if you need to. So again, you just go into the properties, and what we're going to do is we're going to go back into the variable data function in the PostScript driver here. And then we're going to print to the master or use the master. So I would go scorecard here, hit OK, and then the mail merge will then print to that master. I would hit OK, and you want to make sure that you got it set up that way, and it should go very easily. A nice way to test it is just to do maybe the first 10 records to make sure you can see how the data is laying down on the master, because you kind of have to just eye it a little bit before you start throwing down a little bit of data there. Now, assuming that this is on a flat sheet where I've got 2 pieces of data going down, you can with Freeform do a double-sided variable data job where you would have maybe someone's name and then their name again and their address on the back side. Where Freeform doesn't not play is if you have a color unit with a fiery maybe that has a trifolder on it in line. It does not handle folding or stapling, because it cannot separate the job. Just think of it as flat sheets or duplexed flat sheets. Freeform cannot separate the job when you create a fold or a staple. There's different software out there. One comes to mind, which is Print Shop Mail, which allows you to separate those folded jobs. Another example of something that cannot work with Freeform would be a saddle stitch booklet, maybe with the address on the back side, and maybe you do some tabbing to then mail out that small booklet with a tab machine or something of that nature. So that would not work, but it's not an exercise in saying, hey, buy this other software. I just want to make sure everybody understands that what Freeform is capable of, and hopefully it can fit well within your UPS print shop. So now Freeform also, Print Shop Mail can also do if, then, or statements, meaning a good example of that is with a casino. They're always very good at keeping records on what everybody does in there, where you got to swipe the cards everywhere you go into the casino. So say you went there with your family and someone went and had a steak dinner somewhere and played on the craps table and bought a piece of jewelry, where you could do with a more advanced piece of software like Print Shop Mail, if, then, or statements, meaning if they went to this restaurant, then they get a postcard with a coupon of a picture of a steak at that restaurant, the logo of the jewelry store that they bought the jewelry at, and maybe the whole background itself had a faint image of the casino with the blackjack or craps table, wherever they spent the most time at playing. So you can really get upstream in the design process and be more of a consultative. You can really, in other words, you can really help your client out, get inside their head, and make yourself a valuable team member to where you can do the design work, come up with the scheme, and help them. As far as learning more about how to do Freeform in this short webinar, you can go to EFI.com, and I've got it pulled up right here, and I highly suggest that you download the Freeform Toolkit. So again, you just go to EFI.com, and then the W3 pops up. It's EFI.com. Go right here to the right-hand side of the screen, Popular Downloads. This is where you can get Fiery View. We did a webinar on that, but this is the Freeform Toolkit here. It's about 25 megs, has lots of different examples of what you can use. This is a sample here that you can use. It has instructions of how to do these sample databases. So they have the material and the instructions on how to set up the variable data printing and even how to do a mail merge. I'm going to stop here, and after we get through some of the questions, I can quickly go through it and very quickly just show where the webinar is on how to do a mail merge on the BizHub Learning Center. But I just want to stop here and ask any questions about Freeform itself.
Okay, thank you very much, Todd. If anyone has any questions, feel free to raise your hand or send me a note. If you're dialing in through your telephone, please press *1 to raise your hand so I can locate you on the screen. Okay, Todd, I don't believe any questions are coming in, so if you want to continue with your presentation, the mic is all yours.
Thank you. Well, I hope I did a good job explaining what freeform is with no questions. If you want to learn how to do a mail merge, you simply go to our learning site here. We've had some questions. Bill had told me that, I've taken the webinar live, but how do I go see the webinars or the other webinars we have on marketing or things of that nature? And this is the landing page for the BizHub Learning Center. You can register for that. I'm sure Bill can get out the PDF for that. But if you get to the site, and this is the site address where we house this here, you can easily see that here on screen, kmbs.konica-minolta.us/TUPS, TUPSSMBE. And you can download the form off of the site here, or again, get it from your local Konica Minolta rep. But where you go in and see these is you go to the BizHub Learning Center, right here, this blue link right here. You'll be asked for your username and password. Then once you have your username and password done, then you're going to see a site that looks like this. It's called the Learning Plan. You'll click on the Learning Plan here. This is live now. I didn't have it preloaded, so we'll see how fast this goes. And basically, we took our same learning engine that we use internally and made a portal for the stores where we house all the webinars. So this is the last of the first series we did this go-around on File Review and Command Workstation, where you launch it here. The mail merge section is right here. So we have like 3 quick marketing ideas, associate training basics, attacking vertical markets. This is the series I did, Fire Command Workstation, on version 4, the previous version of the Command Workstation, which we covered in that webinar. But again, if you needed to understand how to do a mail merge and then go to variable data, this webinar here, mail merge, I think it's 8.5 minutes long, and it's pretty straightforward. And the wizard within Microsoft Word is very easy to use too. So that's really, I believe, it for the presentation, minus any questions or any comments from Bill.
Okay, great, Todd. If anyone has any questions, we'll open up the floor for Q&A again. Again, if you're dialing in through your telephone, please press *1 to raise your hand. If you're tuning in through your computer, please click on the raise hand icon in the upper left-hand corner of your screen to ask a question. Also, if you're feeling a little shy, feel free to send me a note and I will read your question out loud. All right, it looks like no one has any questions. Bill and Todd, if you have any closing comments, please raise your hand. I want to thank the both of you very much for presenting this vital information to us. If you came in late and missed any of this exciting information, this webinar has been recorded and will be posted to the BizHub Learning Center within 5 business days of the last recording. I want to thank everyone for tuning into today's webinar. And you may close out the session and have a great day.